This process is a very positive one. It's a positive one because we hope to have you all out here listening to what we've said in this bylaw and to get your feedback back to us so that we can change things as we see fit and as you see fit for second reading. This is a very, very positive move, and I'm glad that all of you are out here tonight because we need to hear from you.
First off, business owners don't disagree with the fact that bylaws are required to regulate businesses and direct growth. However, the proposed bylaws do not appear to be very business friendly. Many business owners believe that grandfathering businesses should be for an indefinite period of time. Another question was, why was there no input from the business community in drafting these bylaws? Is there going to be any options provided for business owners, or is it just, rather than just saying, you can't be here? What other areas are service that these businesses can move to?
For many of us, the most problematic piece of the proposal is that which will make existing businesses legal but non-compliant. The auto dealers would be zoned C3, which should disallow us from selling vehicles with an 8,800 pound or higher GVW rating. We would be allowed to continue selling those vehicles, but our successors would not. As well, for those of us selling trailers, the proposal says that we should not be selling trailers longer than 25 feet, but we have been selling trailers longer than 25 feet. And actually, the outlaw does not stock a trailer shorter than 25 feet. The purpose of mayor and council is to make the best choices based on what taxpayers and voters want and need. I don't think there are very many taxpayers who would want us or need us to stop selling one-ton trucks. I don't think they care if we're selling longer trailers.
And reading this bylaw, I found out some statements which would never be accepted in the European Union. Statements like it's a list of requirements of what you have to collect to get development permit. And then it's some kind of substantial list of documents you have to collect. And on the end of the list, you see something like any other information or tests required by development authority at his sole discretion. It means that this list of requirements to obtain the permit can get endless.
I have major concerns with the future of the circular veterinary practice in Vegreville. 1, it can't be built. 2, we can't innovate or modify or do anything to our practice. We can't expand. Basically, we can't sell it. If my new partner decided in 1 year to sell that practice to another veterinarian, who would want to come in and buy it if they can't expand or do an addition or modify the building or anything? As you obviously can tell, I'm very frustrated because this has been my livelihood in Vegreville for 27 years. This is not a threat, it's a fact. If we cannot come to an agreement on this, we unfortunately will have to relocate to another community.
We do feel that there needs to be a complete revision of the current and the proposed bylaws that's in line with the values that this town has. My biggest concern, and the rest, is that when you ask somebody to move, sometimes they do. And we may not like the results we get of that. And even losing a couple of businesses here and there would be very detrimental to the community as a whole. The rate we've grown since I've been here, and as we're talking to some of the other businesses, hasn't necessarily reflected that kind of aggressive growth that would cover businesses moving into those areas that we would move some business out of.
A business-friendly attitude at the Town of Vegreville office will attract more future business than a new bylaw. Working with business will attract more business.
Question?
What about a board that, rather than just having meetings, there was one issue that was addressed by our group, saying that they would actually like full involvement in that review process.
Would you like to review the entire bylaw?
Yeah.
180 pages?
I would be ready. Yeah.
Okay,
and there would like to be advocates from our group as part of that.
Okay. could be a representative from the chamber.
Appointed by the chamber.
Appointed by the chamber, yes.
No trouble.
Yes.
No trouble. Thank you.
Question. I understand it took 4.5 years to formulate this bylaw as it stands. Do you think you can get the changes done in 2 or 3 weeks?
The bylaw covers all lands in the town of Vegreville. We're just speaking of 1 or 2 zonings here.
I see that you guys have had discussion about having a member of the chamber at the meetings, which is good. The question that I have is, the next meeting that was discussed at the executive committee meeting is on June 4th regarding the bylaw is scheduled to be held in camera. And if this is a public bylaw, would the town reconsider its position on holding this out of camera so that in and apart from the representative taking part in discussion on behalf of business, the public can see the deliberation that's going on?
We will consider it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So we're going to have this meeting, gather all this information, all these letters. So the concept is to look at all of these things, look at the bylaw, and as Mike has said, to bring it back into council for all of council to clearly understand what all these concerns are. Now, if it's the desire of council to reopen this with a member of the council representing them and providing that, it doesn't have to be a board member from council, as long as the council, if everyone in here thinks that's a reasonable thing, put your name forward to the chamber, you guys can provide the name that you think would best represent you guys as part of that committee. I think that's good. But I think the committee, as we spoke the other day, Kyle and I and Richard and Janine and Karine, I think it was, that the genuine interest is from the business. The non-residential portion of the bylaw is what we're hearing as major concerns from you guys. But if that's not what I'm hearing, because most of the letters and all the concerns that any of us heard have all been the non-residential stuff. Like I'm talking businesses, commercial, industrial, all of that. It's about business-related concerns, not about the residential requirements that are in the bylaw. Is that safe to say?
It's not safe to say, because we have residential people that run small businesses, a lot of mothers that run small businesses, that the traffic that's allowed through their homes, and it's not impeding traffic, but it's stuff like, oh, well, I can't have more than 5 vehicles per week, then those people that are running businesses out of their homes, that makes that viable, that's unallowed, and I know there's people here that fall under that category.
The tough balance in this act is that we have 5,800 people that live in this town, and the 80 people that are represented here today aren't being, there's no voice for them being spoken. So there's a balancing act between trying to find a bylaw that's going to be acceptable by the people, because some people in that neighborhood, or in that example, for instance, don't want more than 4 or 5 people coming in their neighborhood to pick up people. They say it's about time that business gets up out of the residential area and goes downtown, or goes and finds a spot to be. There are other people that say you've got businesses that are operating illegally and they shouldn't be doing that in that location. Get them to stop. It is dangerous over there.
Thank you. Question back here?
Yeah. You said the bylaws have to be in the culture of the community. Can you explain the culture of Vegreville? Because all my life I've known it to be agriculture.
Vegreville is agriculture and more.
Oh, I agree, but from what I see, I think that we're trying to steer away from that. We should embrace that. We should be proud of the fact that this is what our community is. We are the vet clinic, and it's situated in an awesome location. It's fantastic. They drive down the highway. It's fantastic for them to see the agriculture businesses when they drive down the highway. That is what this is about. This is Alberta. This is the heartland. We should be proud of it and not try to make this to be a little tourist. What are they going to come and look at? The egg? They drive by to look at the egg. They've been doing that for 50 years. That's what they're going to do. It's the agriculture that brings money into this town. And if we destroy it,
we as humans here can make errors, and so this is why we're listening to you.
If there's complaints about non-compliant businesses and home-based businesses, would they be documented? Because every complaint should be documented within the town of Vegreville, would it not?
Yeah, we No.
I can guarantee you that there wouldn't be as many complaints as what there are people in this room right now. So I think you guys better take a good look at what's happening.